He had an identity crisis midway through recording.
The weak-ass gesture.
What was she doing?
This has completely changed my perspective of what has happened.
Hello, it's me, Sam Thompson, and welcome back to the I'm a Celebrity Unpacked podcast, your go-to place for all the gossip, drama, and did David Haye really just say that moments from I'm a Celeb South Africa. Tonight, I'm back with Oti Mabuse and Joe Baggs for plenty more chat, and we're going to be catching up with our lovable campmate, Craig Charles. We'll also be hearing from Kemi, who was over in South Africa with Ant and Dec, bringing us all their thoughts on tonight's drama. Oti and Joe, lovely to have you both back. Trouble is here.
Yes.
David Haye, Adam Thomas. Now, Ant and Dec have been teasing this for a while, and I feel like it's just started to kick off. Let's hear what Ant and Dec had to say about tonight's episode, because there was a lot that went on.
Boys, I think I'm heartbroken.
What? Tell me what?
Gemma saying, I'm a celebrity, get me out of here, in camp.
I know.
Not in a trial.
I know.
I didn't want her to go. And why are you making us wait until tomorrow?
We can neither confirm nor deny what has happened.
But she did say those words.
She said the words.
She did.
I'm shocked.
Yeah.
I'm shocked. And I'm annoyed at you we have to wait until tomorrow.
wait till
Wait
tomorrow.
until tomorrow to find out what is going on there.
But such a jam-packed episode.
Yep.
There's so much to talk about. Sean, he's off.
Stuart.
Yeah. I feel so bad for him. We were saying, weren't we? Like, we really hope he's going to go up from here.
Yeah.
You know, he's not had a good run of it. He didn't want to come last after being fifth in Australia.
Yeah.
He's been beaten by Sunita a gazillion times. He's called Stuart now. He hasn't got to use his camping chair. I feel so bad for
He
the
had a
bloke.
terrible start when he came in. He had a really poor middle and a terrible end.
And you know what was really heartbreaking? Bev's response. Obviously, he went and didn't get to say goodbye to everyone.
Yeah.
It was quite touching, and I think because it was so unexpected as well.
Yeah.
Even when we said to Harry, can you stay behind, we need to have a word with you, they didn't really smell a rat. They didn't
Nah.
think that he was going to have to choose
Nah.
somebody to go.
my
So it
goodness.
came as a real shock when he came back and said that.
Did he choose the right person?
It's
I
really
honestly
hard.
don't know. And the thing is, we love Sean.
Yeah.
Like, I just think he's very funny. We love him in there. Just, you've got to feel for him, man.
But, you know, it's like, who else would Harry have gotten rid of? The Lions were such a good, strong group. Who do you choose? It's kind
Stuart.
of...
That's who you choose.
Stuart was the right choice. Craig, can we talk about, no one's talking about him in the bath and how disgusting it is.
That was the one bit in this show. This show is full of drama.
Yeah.
The one bit that I was like, hold on, Craig's in the dish that they do the dishes in and they brush their teeth in and stuff? What the hell?
And they were like, yeah, we respect his ingenuity. I'm like, you eat out of that.
Yeah.
What?
It's funny though. It was
It's
like something you'd see in a
so
cartoon.
funny.
Like something you'd see Tom and Jerry do.
Sitting in there watching
Yeah.
With his knees up to his
Yeah,
shoulders.
knees up
The
there,
man
off
has
the
some
lower
flexible
back.
hips, doesn't he?
Yes.
How he can pop a squat that low.
Yeah, well done.
I'm impressed with him. And then we saw him in the retching ball with David.
Oh, God.
Oh, my
He carried
goodness.
David through that, didn't
Listen,
he? David
once
didn't
again,
answer.
David in a trial,
She's
not
got a real thing with
performing.
David.
Yeah, it was another trial for David that he was like, oh yeah, I'm not doing questions. Craig can do the questions. I'll catch the cuddly toys. Craig can do the questions. 7 out of 11.
Not bad.
And, yeah, and then vomited all over himself.
Oh, bless
in
him.
the process.
You guys have seen so many celebrities throw up.
Yeah.
It's not, I wouldn't say it's
Yeah.
a high point of my
But
career.
we've been out on a Friday night in Newcastle, so we've seen a lot of throwing up.
That's true. I
Done a bit of it as well in the
Yeah,
past.
that's true.
Let's be honest.
David, though, let's bring it up again. I'm really sorry, David. The tension with Adam.
Yes.
Obviously, he wasn't a fan of those vegan chocolates.
No.
Oh.
What do we think about Adam bringing them in? He wasn't even trying to be subtle about it. Usually
No.
when there's a contraband issue in camp,
Yeah.
it's really, you know, under the radar. But he was just like, I brought chocolates in.
Yes.
Gather round.
I don't know what they expected to happen or what he expected to happen because, you know, they all know, they've all said it's much tougher this time around. The trials are tougher.
Yeah.
Everything's so much tougher. There was obviously going to be a punishment
Yeah.
coming in.
Do you think it was the food that got David really angry? Do you think he would have been not too bothered if it didn't really affect him?
Yeah,
I think it was
probably
I think it was the food and the fact that the chocolates weren't even worth it.
Yeah.
They weren't
He was
worth it
so
for
angry
losing
at
the
them.
food.
Yeah.
So angry. Vegan chocolates. I've never seen anybody get that angry at vegan chocolate.
Out of all the chocolates you could have nicked,
And of
don't
all
nick us
of
that.
the entire spread that they had,
Yeah,
you brought out a couple
yes.
of vegan chocolates.
Okay.
Yeah, he's going to be even more angry, David, when he watches it. What they
He
could have
sees
nicked
what
for
they
it.
could have had.
I think they probably forgot, and at the very end were like, you know, let me take something
think
back to the
that's
camp.
exactly right.
A bit like when they forgot Gemma's dinner.
How do you forget about Gemma Collins? Oh
She's
my
such a big
goodness.
personality in there. And you know how many people are in the camp and they just
Funny, wasn't
miscounted
it?
the
That
food.
was funny.
That moment where she looked at her
Yeah.
little mess tin and like you can hear the sharp intake of breath. Oh, it's like, she's like, there's not really much in here. Oh, yeah, we
And
didn't
the-
get
Yeah,
much.
we-
Obviously,
yeah.
we got a couple of stars knocked off.
And the guilty faces of everybody else. That was very
I would
funny.
love to know what Gemma's reaction is like if she ever
When she
finds
watches this
out.
back, she will.
yeah,
Of course she will, yeah.
'Cause I don't think. Oh, well, let's see. But I don't think they're going to own up to it.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah,
I don't
wouldn't.
think they will.
Why would you?
I am a little bit knackered with all the drama
Yes.
that's going on.
We told you it was going to another level this week.
You really did.
You will next week.
Guys, it's Thursday night. We've literally got another night to
Got
go.
another show tomorrow.
And then we've got a
next
whole
week.
other week. And
Yeah, I
you
know.
keep saying it's going up and up and more drama and more drama. Is that still, or have we got the peak of the drama already?
Oh, no,
Oh,
no. There's much more
There
drama
is
to come.
more drama. We've got the peak of the drama next week. And then by the time we get to the peak of the drama, we're almost back home and for the live final in London and getting them all back together again.
That's so exciting. You literally look like a baddie in James Bond. So much more drama. Well, we'll do it all again tomorrow then.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Can't wait.
Will
tomorrow.
Gemma stay? Will Gemma go? I don't know.
Watch this space.
Well, Anne and Dec never mince their words. They said there's more drama to come. I think we've seen some of it. It looks to me, just on this cliffhanger that we've seen, that Adam and David, that won't go away. It looks like that's rumbling on, if not getting a little bit worse, actually. Adam's like, I'm getting emotional. David's basically like, grow up, you're an adult, which is not really the tact I would say to cheer someone up, but that's just David. And then the bombshell. Gemma Collins, I'm a celebrity, get me out of here. The words spoken around the camp. Is this a joke? I hope it is. It looks like it isn't, because then it pairs with her in tears. What do we think?
I mean, do you know what? When you watch I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, you always vote in for maybe the celeb that you like the least to do the trial, or you want them to go through a little bit of pain. But with this one and in Gemma's situation, you're rooting for her. You're rooting for her to push herself. You want her to stay there. We enjoy, like, she gives us laughter. She makes us cry. We enjoy getting to know her. And I think it'll be a real shame if she doesn't stay in the camp.
Yeah, I feel like as a viewer, we felt robbed the first time she
Yes.
left
Yeah.
because there was so much potential and we're seeing that journey of the ups and downs already, that I will be really, really gutted if she does go. I'm thinking, is she calling our bluff? Is it just a clickbait cliffhanger?
Well, go on
like,
then.
I
If you
hope
had
so.
to- if you had to make a guess, what do you think?
Oh, I hope not. I think she does say it, but then I think everybody rallies around her.
It was the comedic timing of it all, really, for me. And
She's
the
gone for a moment.
and
She's
the
having a
panic.
moment anyway.
She's like glaring into the distance, and you've got Sunita scraping fish out of her lip. What is that called?
Tin.
Her
yeah.
tin. And they're all the panic in the whites of everyone's eyes. They were like, we must rally
David
for
Hayes
her
had the
dinner.
meat in the
I
head.
know. I know. Yeah, this is good. This looks nutritious. It was an eyeball.
But my question is, what was she doing? She didn't.
She was taking a moment.
No,
Reflection.
but what does that mean?
She was
You're
just.
like-
I think that Gemma's having a tough time. I think that she is really getting to the end of her tether. I think she's given it a lot. And look, as we've seen, she's cried a lot. And I think she just, at the moment, is really, really struggling. So I think when sometimes she'll be taking herself away, she'll be psyching herself up, she'll
Yeah.
be collecting herself. She's
Yeah.
probably like, I don't want to cry again in front of people. I think she's having one of those moments. To then
Okay.
come back to a
Oh.
morsel, a mere morsel of food, and then the beauty of the silence
Yes.
beforehand,
I
where
know.
she looks at it, and do you know what? There's a part of me that thinks that was the moment she went, well, I think I'm done. And then she goes, she takes it really well. She goes, oh, great. But I think in her head, she
Yeah.
goes,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm finished.
I'm hungry now.
Yeah.
But they could have added some more rice and beans to that meal just to.
Oh no, I think they had everything.
Oh.
Yeah.
One thing about Gemma Collins, she can mince her words, but she can't hide her face. And you
No.
could see her face that moment. And it was
Yes.
golden. It was
Oh.
golden.
Well, trouble is definitely brewing. We need to talk about the drama surrounding this rule break.
On one side, I do understand where David is coming from. That was a really hard, long trial. He hasn't eaten over 2 days. And everyone knows when you bring counterfeit product into the camp, something is going to happen.
Yeah.
And this was just not the time.
I don't feel the anger is that justified because David didn't really do much in the trial aside be spun around.
Yeah.
I
Interesting.
also find that in the essence of like wanting to build community in there, I think that David's being really unfair in, this is the hill that he's going to die on in there. I think it was a nice gesture. What if you liked the chocolate?
Yeah.
If the chocolate was your favorite chocolate, would you be kicking off as much? I don't think it was seen as an empty gesture, as like, you know, it was just to morale boost everyone that hadn't eaten in days. There was no malice there from Adam's side.
I agree with you. And he went for the chocolate. So it wasn't just Adam taking chocolate and eating it on his own. They all ate it. So on that point, I agree with you.
Yeah.
But if I'm starving and you tell me I'm only going to get a little bit of fish and the head, and I already ate fish eyes and they were disgusting. But I don't think he should bang on and on and on and on about it. I feel like that's him just being deliberate. He's seen a target and he's going for it.
I mean, the rest of the camp were like, David, I think it's time to calm down. You know, I mean, I think Adam got the message loud and clear is what, you know, Scarlett was saying that. I would say that I see where both are coming from. And I know I sound neutral, but I really do. You've got, on one hand, David, who is a stickler for the rules when they sue him, and he's starving, right? Adam has brought back some chocolates that they all know you're not allowed to do. Yeah. And Ochi, we said this when we were watching it, is that everyone does it every year.
Yeah.
It never ends well.
No.
Did we need vegan chocolates right now? Because we would have much preferred more of a meal for dinner.
Yes.
He didn't bring back any of the nice food from the banquet. He didn't bring any of the feta. He didn't bring any of the cheese. He literally bought the dregs. So I think what David's saying is, your gestures caused me and the rest of the camp to go hungry. And I get that.
Yes.
However, there is also the point of Adam being like, I was just trying to boost morale.
Yeah.
But it was fine because David brought it up once and then proved his point.
Yes.
By carrying it on, feels like he knows that Adam's well liked. He's good at boosting morale in the camp. And he's targeting someone that doesn't really have any dirt on them. They're just very well liked campmate. Yeah. And I think that's why he's pursuing this. Yeah. Because the more he pursues it, the more everyone else will then remember further on in the competition. Yeah. Oh, but remember when he he brought in the chocolate, you know? And that's what I think's happening.
I agree. And I don't think Adam is really the strongest campmate when we talk about energy there. He's fun, he's bubbly, but if you do attack him, he would become small. His energy will kind of dwindle. And I think David knows that and he's going for exactly that. It's just a game to him.
I mean, look, do we think the punishment's fair? I think it is.
The punishment is fair, yeah.
You should get punished for doing things like that. You've been told not to do it. The whole point of I'm a Celeb really is that you do eat rice and beans. Sometimes you do go hungry. You know what's going to happen if you break the rules.
He did say that he wouldn't take a portion of that food that evening as well.
But they all saw him take the chocolate at the banquet.
Yeah.
They all saw him
They were complicit.
We've got Craig here on Zoom. Let's hear what he's got to say about it. Craig Charles, how are you, my man?
I'm well, guys. I'm in my own jungle now.
It looks absolutely beautiful, mate. You are quite the horticulturalist, mate. You've got a lot of plants there, sir.
No, I've got a gardener.
Mate, thank you so much for joining us. We were literally just talking about such a massive part of the episode. I'd love to get your opinion on it. David Hay, Adam Thomas, we've just seen them come head to head. Adam's obviously brought the chocolates into camp. David's not happy about it because obviously Ant and Dec have taken 2 stars away from a challenge that you won 7 stars pretty much on your own, Craig, to be honest with you. You threw up all over yourself. Where do you stand on this sort of debate?
Well, you know, I don't think people were thinking quite rightly when it got to this stage. And Adam made this big grand gesture. I mean, he could have done it sneakily. He could have, you know, snuck one to here, you know, here and stuck one there and snuck one there. But he makes this big grand gesture in front of all of the cameras that says, you know, I'm going to take this rule break and, you know, take the consequences. And the next minute, we're all taking the consequences, really. So I could see why David was miffed. And to be fair, we had to eat so quickly because the hippos were attacking us. He chose, you know, these vegan chocolates and then made this big gesture about something that he didn't really want, giving them to camp like he's this magnanimous dude. So I knew that was going to backfire, to be honest.
Wow. That's so interesting. So you think that David's got a real point there?
I thought David had a bit of a point. I don't know if he expressed it in the right way, if you know what I mean.
Classic
and that's
David.
The only times I'd rub up against David, it was, you know, the way he sometimes, you know, I didn't agree with his opinions. I didn't agree with the way he was expressing his opinions. However, I really, really liked him. You know, you don't have to agree with people to be able to get on with them and be friends and interact and have a debate. You don't have to go to war all the time just because you've got a different opinion. You know what I mean?
Craig, he actually, we had him on yesterday. He really liked you, had some lovely things to say about you, did David. And it was just really, really interesting because you guys were the 2 who went through that terrible trial. I mean, Craig, we saw you throw up on yourself like 3 times, I think.
I threw up in the face of David Hay, the ex-world champion heavyweight boxer. I'm thinking, how am I going to survive this? Well, yeah, I get motion sickness, you know.
Oh.
I mean, when I go fishing, I'm sick over the side of the boat, and this was a nightmare for me. And it got so bad that because the stuff's on the floor, and then you get turned around, then it's on the ceiling, so it's just dropping off into your mouth all the time as you're vomiting with your mouth open, obviously. So stuff's going down your mouth and stuff like that. It's going all over David Hay. It got to the stage where I couldn't remember my own name, never mind 5 actresses who'd won Oscars and stuff like that. You know what I mean? But I did get 7 stars, all on my own, because I carried David Hay through the entire thing.
Oh, mate, do you know, it was so great to watch. David didn't speak, really. You are quite the stomach trial man. You literally came in, and your first trial was an eating trial. You and Gemma, head to head. Now, obviously, you guys really get along. You're in each other's series. How was it banging 30 shots of bull's blood?
That was absolutely really horrible. I mean, the thing was, like, doing the bull's penises at the start was, like, bad enough. Because they don't give you any water or anything like that. And there's no taste to them, don't get me wrong. But they're so difficult to chew. The whole eating trial took hours after the film. And that was, like, a scene out of The Exorcist. That all just came up.
Oh, so you threw it up. Threw it up afterwards.
Yeah, all of it came up in a river of blood. I couldn't eat the food I won in the trial. I couldn't eat any of it. It was one of the most uncomfortable feelings. And I'd gone straight into it. I just thought they'd ramped it all up, you know, because like in the old eating trials, they've got to eat 1 eye or 1 penis or something like that. You know what I mean? I had to eat like 10 penises. And it's like all ramped up. It all seems a bit more severe, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, Sam Roy says everything is bigger in this series.
Everything's bigger, everything's bolder. Craig, obviously, you know, you didn't get long in the original series that you were on. In this one, did you find your feet quickly? It looks like you're having a really good time in there.
Yeah, I did enjoy it. I enjoyed it because I thought that experience would have passed me by. You know, I didn't think I'd ever get to finish the jungle adventure. You know, through no fault of my own, through the sad passing of my elder brother Dean. So I was going to make the most of it, and I'm at that stage in my life where, you know, it's nice to have adventures. It's nice to do different things. It's nice to look forward rather than look back. You know, and so I just treated it like an adventure. So I was really enjoying it. I really did enjoy it.
Yeah, I mean, look, Craig, we absolutely loved watching you, mate. You've been a brilliant, brilliant campmate. I do need to sort of comment on the bath you took. How you fit into that little washing up basket is beyond me. You were like cross-legged, and you actually looked like you gave yourself a proper good scrub as well, mate.
I did, yeah. I mean, because it's a big tub, you know, for dishes. And it, you know, sideways on, I fitted in perfectly. I couldn't believe it worked. I was just I hate cold water. I was so tired of cold water. So I just heated some water up in the kettle, took the dishes out, poured it into the bath, got in the bath, give myself a good scrub, washed the bowl out again.
Craig, could you tell me quickly a bit more about the hippo attack at the banquet? Because I'm just interested to know what happened there and why that was disrupted.
Well, we get to the banquet and like this, I mean, the food was scrumptious, but, you know, we'd spent so much time on safari that we had to eat sort of quite quickly. So we were sort of eating away. And the next minute they start saying, clear the stuff up, clear the stuff up. And I think someone said, can't we just shoo these 5 or 6 hippopotamuses came out of the water like that, you know, so it just came out like that. And you see their eyes and then their nose and then their mouths. And you're like, whoa. And they all stop walking towards us in unison. And someone said, can't we shoo them away? And one of the rangers went, no, it doesn't work like that. They're shooing you away. It's time to go. Because these things can hit 45 miles an hour.
Yeah,
I've seen.
They're also a big bulk of an animal.
Yes.
They are. Snap you in half with their jaws. I mean, yeah.
Craig,
more people can get killed by hippos than lions.
Yeah, very true. Very true. As a water buffalo as well. More dangerous than a lion. But, Craig, I'd like to know who you really bonded in there with. Obviously, you know Gemma from previous series.
Yeah.
You have, I think, formed a nice bond with a lot of them in there. So is there anyone that like stands out to you?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't get to to get to know Sean that well.
Well,
I
Stuart,
thought we'd
actually,
have-
we know him
Yeah,
as
Stuart.
now.
Yeah, Stuart. I didn't get to know him that well because he left quite early on. But I mean, Jimmy Bullard makes me laugh. But he's so up and down. You know, 1 minute he's chirpy, the next minute he's down. And David Hay made me laugh. I got on really well with David, even though I don't agree with everything he says. You don't have to like the man and admire him. Bev, I love. You know, we used to work together a lot in Coronation Street. So I knew Bev and I knew Adam because I used to work with Adam's brother, and we've done stuff together in the past. Sunita, I thought Sunita was a beautiful soul. She's quite serene. She's got a really nice.
So basically, Craig, you love them all, is what you said.
Yeah, I did. Honestly, I was like a social butterfly. I just, split in and out of people's conversations,
Well, you can see that, Craig, and we've loved talking to you. We've absolutely loved watching you. Long may it continue. Craig Charles, thank you so much, mate. What a real pleasure to have you, sir.
Thanks very much, man.
Joe Bags, Oti Mabuse, what do we think about that? Because Craig, I think, has let a little bit slip there in terms of Adam and the chocolates.
This has completely changed my perspective of what has happened, because if Adam actually went to that banquet, picked up those chocolates and went, ew, these are gross, let me take these back to the camp and break some rules, then because he knew that they weren't going to enjoy them, which, changes my mind.
And the grand gesture on top of that, like you said, he could have snuck it to each and every one of them. But he bought the biggest plastic bag.
But to be fair, it still remains the same, right? He tried to do a nice thing. And David just didn't like the chocolates or the gesture, the weak ass gesture, as David Hay says. I've got to say, Craig is a really interesting guy, and he has so much to say. Not so much about Sean though, because he spoke about all of the campmates. He was like, love Sunita, she's amazing. I love David Hay. I got to meet everyone. He went barely got to talk about meet really Sean, and I found that interesting because he was there for a while with him.
Yeah, I guess maybe they didn't have enough time to bond, and maybe gravitated towards the people that he knew most and had worked with before and that type of thing. But
But they were separated for a lot more time than they were together, right? So there was no time for them to bond. And he's probably catching up with the people that he did know.
Came as Sean left as Stuart. You didn't really get to know much about the guy. He had an identity crisis midway through recording. Didn't even know who he is.
I don't think he's ever going to live that one down. Do you know what, a really fun moment for me, and I know for you, Joe, as well, when we were watching it together, was Gemma high on cheese.
Oh.
I was obsessed because you could see how elated she was. And there was an aura around her afterwards. She was just like, this is the experience of a lifetime. She was emotional. I thought, you are me after a cheese board.
She started crying.
Oh, yeah. The moment that brie hits, I get emotional too.
But you can almost see her in the background, head is back, she's smiling, she's thinking, thank goodness.
It's euphoria.
Yeah, that's
it's pure euphoria.
Well, look, we're going to find out very, very soon whether Gemma goes or whether Gemma stays. I cannot wait. Oti and Joe, this is your last episode with me. What a pleasure it has been. We'll be back tomorrow with Carol Vorderman. And yes, the icon herself, the GC, or should I call her Gemma Collins, be joining me to catch up on everything South Africa. To get notified when tomorrow's episode drops, then make sure to hit follow or subscribe, and follow at I'm a Celebrity on socials for all the latest from this series. I'm a Celebrity South Africa does continue tomorrow at 9 p.m. on ITV1 and ITVX. And we're going to be here for Unpacked directly after the main show on ITVX, YouTube, Spotify, and all podcast platforms.